Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world and sometimes Australia with Australian voices, accents, and opinions, which means maybe we're a little bit uneducated. Maybe it's a bit fun. We'll have a go. This is episode 200. We are recording live. It's not Friday, September 21st, 2019, whoever prepared the run sheet, but it wouldn't be an episode of the podcast without a run sheet error. So it is Saturday, September 21st, 2019. In this episode, there's a slew of masterpiece news. The Unicron wars have begun. I probably should say that in a Yoda accent. And there's a few more Transformers coming to your local EB Games store. All that and more coming up after this. All right, hello and welcome to episode 200. I'm Jason. Joining me, we have Brad coming to us from his secret location, undisclosed, in his bunker somewhere in country Victoria.
Oh, guys, it has been a while, and it is great to be back.
It has. So have you added things to the rather magnificent display cabinets behind you in the meantime?
It's a tragic story. I think last time I was on, I talked about Nerd Mania around July 27th. There's a container
around a very specific date. Yes.
Yeah. The tub's still sitting down there. I haven't unpacked it, and there's some massive gaps and holes in there from figures I took that I've not put back yet. That's just how stupidly busy and chaotic my life is at the moment.
So. Now, Brad, we are actually burying the lead here because you do have a very important new acquisition that you can hold up and show on camera.
Well, she's sleeping, so I won't hold her up.
Smell-o-vision, we probably already know.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's a beautiful, beautiful new addition to Brad's family. And if you are listening to the audio version of the podcast, which you probably are,
stretch.
We are talking about a dog, not a baby. Her name is Roxy. What kind of dog is she, Brad?
She's a purebred Jack Russell.
She's a Jack Russell. So she is probably smarter than most of us on the podcast, and she's only 14 weeks old. And her name is Roxy, and she's very, very gorgeous. And at some point, you're going to have to bring her to Sydney to meet me. That's actually... Look, I don't make the rules, okay? That's just how it works.
I've told my wife to take her into the supermarket and just say she's a... I wasn't special needs dog, because that's not right. Companion...
Service dog?
Service dog, yes, that's right. Yes. Yep. She is a service dog and is required to join you at all times. So
it could work.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's any chiropractors that can help out with that sort of sleeping disorder, please let me know, because that's hurting my back just looking at it. You are an idiot. All right.
You can also hear let's go from the East Coast across to the West. Max coming to us from Adelaide on a possibly slight time delay. We'll see how we go. How are you going, Max?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Jason.
There's that delay.
I hope that was deliberate.
I do too. We're doing all right. We're off to a swimmingly good start for episode 200 with run sheet errors and possible time delays. But how's life been in Adelaide this week?
It's been okay, pretty just uni stuff, work. Went to the climate march yesterday. That was pretty fun. Yeah. Don't have much to say really. I'd like to have more, but it's about the long and short of it.
Fair enough.
Pretty happy to be at episode 200. If not for those run sheet errors, it would not be episode 200.
It's true. We're happy to have made it to episode 200, and I'll just point out at this point a big thank you to Brad for actually organising the run sheet every week, even if he's not on the show.
I do what I know. I do what I must.
The silence of resounding agreement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the fourth
even if it doesn't always have in it what you want to talk about.
I would say it's more hit than miss. Occasionally, I do go fucking with the run sheet an hour before the show, but yeah.
Oh, beauty! I'll throw some more statue news in it. Your wish is
Yeah.
my demand.
It's the ultimate test. Is like, has Jason edited this run sheet? Is there any stat being used in it? There is. Oh no.
Yep.
The final fourth disembodied voice that you can hear if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, although he is front and center of the video right now, we do have Bradley, Groovy Guy, coming to us from Perth. How are you doing, Brad?
I'm feeling like the odd one out at the moment because all three of you are sitting in front of your collections, whereas I've got a sewing machine and a jacket. And if I could get rid of that wall there, you would see my collection. But other than that, it's just me, I'm afraid.
All right. So, is it a load-bearing wall?
I don't know.
Are you in rental premises?
No.
Well,
How hard can you punch?
Yeah.
Huh?
How hard can you punch?
I don't know. I can show you
It's
pictures of my
episode
old
200,
desk.
man. Just go for it.
The cord won't stretch out that far.
Oh, there's always some excuse.
I'll show you pictures of my last desk, and you can see it crumbling to pieces after how many times I've whacked it in frustration.
Fantastic. All right.
Do not despair, my friend. Only 5 minutes before the record, I'll set up in my son's room. Then my son wanted to go to bed. My wife was going to go to bed as well, so I have the lounge room.
And this is how Saturday nights work in Brad's household, and most of ours, in fact.
Mm-hmm. The sign of the times.
So, look, it is episode 200 this week. It is in fact Transformers anniversary week. This week, I'm just gonna add this into the stream here. This week it is TCCA's 6th birthday. So a big thank you to the instantiator of TCCA 6 years ago, without whom we wouldn't be here sacrificing a Saturday night. But once again, Brad, good job. Thank you very much. We are actually literally all here because of you.
Well, even back then, now the goal's still the same, just providing somewhere for the fans to come and talk about their favourite figures and their favourite franchise. So it's I think it's still going pretty well. The group's been running pretty smoothly recently, and yeah, we're just hit a milestone with the 6th birthday. Podcast just hit 200, and membership's going strong for the year as well. So all looking up.
Safe to say more than achieve a goal.
Yeah.
So that's not the only anniversary that's hit this week as well. It is, in fact, the Transformers G1 cartoon's 35th anniversary of its first broadcast this week too.
Coincidence? I think not. Uh-oh.
Well, it kind of is for the 200th episode, but not for the club's birthday.
No.
So yeah, big happy birthdays and happy anniversaries all around to us, to Transformers, and to TCCA. So thank you, and here's to at least 6 more years. We might be getting together not sooner, but maybe 29 more years and talking about TCCA's 35th anniversary. We'll see how we go. Wow. And then if we do the maths, how many Transformers it's actually kind of amazing. Transformers is 35 years old, and so that's closer to 50 than it is to 6. And Doctor Who had its 50th anniversary. Actually, Doctor Who had its 50th anniversary over 5 years ago. Doctor Who is actually more like 55 these days. But in terms of franchise longevity, Transformers. It feels like it was only. It feels like it was only a year or two ago that we were getting the thrilling 30 figures on the shelves. Now we're getting the 35th anniversary figures. It's not going to be long until we get 45th anniversary, and it's going to hit the 50. It's going to hit 50 sooner than you think.
It doesn't show any sign of slowing down either, which is the craziest part.
That's right. We've got at least 3 Transformers lines on the shelves at the moment. We've got Siege, if you can find it. We've got Cyberverse, and there's Studio Series. There's also still some Bumblebee figures hanging around. There's Authentics. It's a really good time to actually be a Transformers fan and out buying figures. There's a lot of choice if you shop online. I mean, if you shop at your local store, maybe not so much.
Well, my local Target today must have got a new box in because they were fully loaded. But may I make a prediction, which will have to go away in the vault for the next 6 years.
All right.
Mhm.
6 years time. Masterpiece 100, Optimus Prime version 4, self-transforming.
So I don't think they can hit 50 in 6 years. Like it's taken 15 years to get. Is it about 15 years or so to get to 50? And yes, the Masterpiece range has accelerated in recent years, but I don't think they can. I don't think they can do. What is that in 6 years to do another 50 Transformers? That's like one every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, well,
if the money's there, they'll do it.
Well, I'm putting all the pluses in there as well, so yeah, it won't be MP 100. All right. Prediction ended.
Oh, well, you do count like the pluses and re-releases and everything will be, nearing that number actually. You get the different variants and stuff.
How about who do you think MP50 is going to be? Like that's one that we don't have to put in the vault for too long because we're 2 off it. Are we 2 or 3 off it? I don't know. I feel like we know who 48 is, but we don't know 49 or 50.
I think the thing is that it feels like after MP10 they haven't really made big important numbers into significant characters. They haven't tried to make that a line. Megatron was just 36. The new Prime was just 44. So it's I don't know if they're trying to make it a line anymore.
Instead of saying
different because it's 50. But
yeah. Instead of saying who do you think 50 is going to be, who do you think will be out before or by 50? I reckon we're going to get a Rodimus Prime by 50.
Already got one.
So if it was going to be another Rodimus Prime, it would have to be 49. So what do we got? We got 45 is going to be 45 is Bumblebee. There's going to be Black Arachnia. That's 46. 47 is Hound. 48 is Leo Convoy. So 49 has to be someone else, and 50 has to be someone else. So
Beachcomber. I don't think they've placed much on the 50 milestone sort of thing.
Yeah.
Probably going to be someone minor.
I would just need to delete the last 5 minutes of talking because we haven't achieved a lot.
True. But you know what? That's kind of how it goes.
It fills up the time, man.
It fills up the time and allows us to get YouTube to monetize the videos because they go for longer, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The longer the video, the more attracted they are to it or something.
No, sorry, Brad. I should have told you. We now make money off the YouTube videos, and I host them on my own channel for that reason. Brad's not sure if I'm joking, but I am. But yes,
my solicitors will be in contact with you tomorrow.
On a Sunday?
You do have good solicitors. So before we do get on to some news, I did want to just bring up, if we're looking at the video, there is, I did a little Instagram post wishing the Transformers franchise its 35th, happy 35th anniversary with a G1 reissue Prime and Megatron, showing the robot and the robot modes and the vehicle modes for them both there, along with a lovely view of my lounge room, but yes. So once again, happy 35th anniversary, Transformers.
Once again, scale doesn't matter.
No, of course it doesn't. We're going to move swiftly on and get to the news. Straight into news.
Hasbro news.
That will take us into some news.
What news comes from via yonder?
It's time to talk about this guy.
Again.
It is. We are going to talk a little bit more about Unicron. There's been a few interesting developments in the Unicron wars and saga this week. Bradley, if you would like to do the thing.
The thing?
The thing that you did when we started the show.
Oh, you mean?
Sure. Why not? Yeah. Let's go with that. Anyway, so. Ever since Hasbro unveiled their Unicron around STCC, which was a good month and a half ago now, we have been seeing rumors of a second third-party Unicron floating around. Now, in the initial weeks, this Unicron was not really identified by much, but it did come to be known as Zeta Toys Unicron. It was not actually a competitor to the HasLab one. It was more of a sort of third-party version of the existing Unicron mold, which is pretty big in its own right. But I believe he was last reissued as the Platinum Edition Unicron. And actually, no, that's not true. He was recently reissued as the green Unicron of Light.
Oh, yeah, there's that one too, yeah.
Yeah.
That no one's seen.
Oh, no, actually, they're all over the place in Singapore when I was there a couple of months ago.
Australian Transformers Weekly.
Yeah. Australians abroad. So,
my guy.
Zeta's Unicron suddenly up and disappeared this week from all of their social media channels. And
Did it eat itself?
No, but it did get eaten by Hasbro.
Ooh.
So Hasbro is not known for making moves on third-party Transformers, but that is precisely what's happened this week, as Zeta has been very much enjoying their ability to sort of come out and tweak Hasbro's nose with spoiling announcements of their competing Unicron product. And it looks like this week Unicron has gone back to being a Hasbro only thing, as Hasbro has hit the lawyer button and has been taken down Zeta's Unicron posts from anywhere they could find them on US owned websites. So YouTube, they could serve a copyright takedown notice to, and as you can see, the video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by Hasbro Incorporated. Now that means Zeta did not take that video down themselves. YouTube took it down for them after a complaint from Hasbro. Now,
wow.
This has also been what's happening on Twitter and on Facebook, and any US-owned place that Hasbro could serve a takedown notice to, it's gone. Chinese services like Weibo, it's still there. It's still up for, well, it may not be up for pre-order anymore, but it was still up on Chinese channels, including their Taobao site for taking orders. But since this story broke, we've been off the air for a couple of weeks. Since this story broke last week, a couple of people have managed to get in contact with Zeta, who confirm very quietly and very succinctly that the project has been cancelled.
Oh,
it's
unfortunate.
It's unfortunate if you're Zeta. It's unfortunate if you're anyone except Hasbro. Hasbro really didn't need Zeta taking out all the noise from their crowdfunding campaign, which, let's have a quick check-in, is currently sitting at 5,695 of 8,000 backers. So we got to this point about a month ago where it looked pretty unlikely that this was actually going to get to 8,000 backers, and Hasbro extended the deadline, as you can see in bold text down there. The deadline was originally the end of August, and it has been extended to the first week of October, which means that we are actually we're like 2 or 3 weeks away from that deadline, and it's still not looking that good for the 8,000 backers, although it's looking a damn sight better than it did a couple months ago.
They have just released it for availability in UK, which may get it 20 people. So there.
So that in itself is an interesting story, because Kapow Toys has basically done the same thing with Hasbro UK that EB Games did in Australia, and they have become the official pre-order point for this figure for the UK and Europe. So if you're in Europe and you want Unicron, you have to go to Kapow in the UK. The other interesting thing is that Kapow requires payment in full by the October 6th deadline, although they were yet to announce a price when I checked yesterday. I'm not sure if they have now announced their price and put it up for pre-order. It all seems to have been organized in a bit of a rush and a bit of a shambles. In fact, let me grab my mobile device.
While you're doing that, with the Zeta takedown, do we think it's just because it's running? They've been publicising their figure at the same time as the crowdfunding campaign, or because it's not really in competition.
It is.
Seems like they're piggybacking off the Unicron announcement, so that's why Hasbro's just turned around and said, "No."
No, but it is on a couple of fronts, right? Like, one, it's Hasbro's IP. It's literally it's their character. They created Unicron 30 years ago, and it's ripping off their IP. That's why they've made a copyright claim against it. But also, people have been sitting there on Hasbro's Unicron promotional things, going, "Oh, fuck this! I'm buying the Zeta Toys version instead." So, like. Of course,
you got yourself to blame.
Of course, they're going to do something. Let's not pretend that Hasbro doesn't know about these. About third-party figures and stuff. Like, they've been well aware, but as I said, Hasbro is not well known for taking any action against third parties.
No,
but here they go.
Yeah, and that was the only thing I was sort of bringing up, like the fact that MP Rodimus was announced. The next minute, Fans Toys are going to put out a CG render of what theirs is going to look like 15 years down the track when they make it. Like, this has happened a lot, but this is the first time they've stood in.
In fact, if you remember, Fans Toys Hoodlum very famously disappeared from pre-orders.
Yeah, but it's released now.
It has been released now. Yeah. My Dropbox is also full, according to the video stream. It has been released now, but it did disappear from pre-orders after apparently a request from Hasbro to take it down from certain websites.
Yeah.
Now, I can confirm that Kapow Toys does have Unicron up for pre-order. Are you sitting comfortably?
I'm going to get my belt.
All right. Is your dog still contorted around? Like,
no, she's stretched out.
I think you might want to contort yourself when you hear this. It is 605 pounds.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
That's unobtainable.
1,400?
That is.
I usually go with triple.
According to Google, it is $11 billion. No, it's $1,115. Which, if you think back to the early days of the Unicron crowdfunding campaign, there were a bunch of sites that set themselves up prior to EB Games coming in with the deal with Hasbro at $800, which is literally like $350 cheaper than this. Maybe just $300. There are a bunch of sites that set themselves up at about that price.
Yeah, well, BBTS was up around. It was a four-figure sum too.
So Big Bad Toy Store did a slight service for people who wanted to order it, but also didn't want to pay for it up front. So it's okay, I think, for a site that actually takes on the financial risk of running the pre-order. They take a deposit from you and then put their own money down for the rest of it. Fair enough. So in Australia, we have still, I think, got the best deal on this because due to our laws about not being able to take payment in full for something that doesn't yet exist, we get to do it as a deposit.
And the price is much cheaper too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the last few days, I have become one of the pre-order EB Games people.
One of us.
Well, that's
Gooba.
That's it. Last time I was on, we were reporting this announcement, and the 800 or the more EB hadn't gone on yet. Since then, as soon as EB Games announced it for that price and the ability to pay, I jumped on it. I've put.
You did? Oh, wow.
Yeah, yep. I've got one coming. I've put away $20 aside each week since, and got 120 or something already aside, minus the 100 I've already put on it. So it's only about 480 I've got owing on it. So it's not hard. It's Look,
it just on this, because this has gone around a little bit. Those of us who have full-time employment and have regular incomes, it's easier for people like us to actually put a regular piece away. One of the things that I notice, if you look in the discussion group and especially in the sales group, when something comes up that people want, there's a lot of people who comment at saying that they've got no money this week, and it is difficult. A lot of people do sort of live paycheck to paycheck, and they can't put away money like this on a regular savings plan. And some of us are fortunate enough to be able to do it, and it's. Let's try not to lord it over those who can't.
Oh, no, exactly. And that's one thing that unfortunately we're going to see is oh, look what I've got, look what you haven't got, and whatever else. It's the only way I see it is, can you imagine the resale value, what this is going to be after the fact, if it's made, if people get it? I don't see them doing a second run or anything like that because they're only struggling to get the first run done. It's just being here, we've got the easiest way to get it. I wonder how many pre-orders are going to fall out when the deadline or when it arrives, because people either haven't put money aside or whatever else, and all of a sudden they got $650 they got to pay.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So I want to go back and touch on a couple of points there. Number one is, will they ever do a reissue of it? They probably will.
Well, yeah, it's going to be made.
If they make it right, of course they're going to get as much out of it as they possibly can.
Yeah, you don't make the mold for a single use. Although other HasLab, like, I don't think HasLab has been around for long enough to actually get a feeling for, you know, whether they reuse their stuff or when their crowdfund stuff might become normal retail stuff. Nothing that they've done has turned up at retail, but that's not to say that it won't in the future. And also, once you've done this one, you know, you can do an Armada repaint, you can do special editions and stuff. Like, they are going to be, for us, $850 a pop. So like, they'd be special limited runs, but they could certainly do them.
Yeah, have we has it been mentioned yet if the pre-order numbers have been added to these backer numbers, or is it still up in the air as to how many exactly have been pre-ordered?
It's up in the air.
The initial ones were, so I'm not sure if they're being consistently added now, but as it like neared the end date of the first backing period, there was a big jump of about 1,500 backers.
That's right. So we don't know if all of them are. Look, and I think we've said this before on the podcast, we may never know. We may never know, because we might get to October 6th and the page will come down and they'll just go, yeah, we're going to make it anyway. We might never know whether or not how the numbers all shake out. There was a big jump in the space of a day observed just after Hasbro started talking about their international pre-orders. Someone got a number from Hasbro and they said that there'd been about 1,500 international pre-orders, and then the number jumped by 1,500 on the website. So whether they decided to just artificially inflate it, or if 1,500 people actually backed it overnight, we don't know. We'll never know. So we got news. We got word from EB Games originally that they were not going to send numbers to Hasbro until the end of the crowdfunding period. But then I think Hasbro may have done a bit of a ring around to their international partners and collected some numbers and figured them in.
Yeah. There's also, yeah, like you were saying before, people live paycheck to paycheck, and I'm unemployed, and getting the payment option via EB has just been, you know, obviously if I couldn't get that, I wouldn't be getting this figure. So it's just really great to have a way in. And I wasn't aware the Australian law was you can't, you know, pay for something up front that doesn't exist yet. So God bless Australia.
There's look, it's not as clear cut as that, but essentially that's kind of the thing. Like, you can't require people to pay fully upfront for something like this. Like, if it was actually manufactured and, you know, shipping and on its way, then you could certainly do it. But because they've said that this is not coming until 2021, they set themselves up for all sorts of legal issues if they do it. There's also there's been discussions over whether or not EB Games will survive until 2021 for people to
don't even
unicorns. I think if you're possibly going to be giving a business $850 to hold on to for a year and a half, like, maybe don't. And this is why, personally, I would not be paying off the pre-order at EB Games. I'd stick it in a bank account and I'd give it to them all at the end.
Yeah, good point.
It's not. I'm not saying, and I've never said that EB Games is looking shaky. I don't think they are looking shaky, but you never know what's going to happen. Remember how quickly Dick Smith went down. Remember how quickly Toys R Us went down. Like, these things happen. Toys R Us famously went down with the Shadow Panther pre-order.
Yeah, good point.
34S, and so, like, it's happened, and I think a lot of people ended up. I don't know how many people actually pre-ordered it from Toys R Us, but people ended up out of pocket when Toys R Us went down, not only just for MP34S, but other things as well. And we're seeing signs that Maya and David Jones might be on shaky ground. Big W is closing stores because they're not making money. Target is rethinking some of their retail stores because they're not making money. So, like, to a question of whether or not this business is going to be here in 2021, I don't think it's irresponsible to ask the question.
No, it's not irresponsible at all.
Yeah, I think it's actually quite important to, be pretty blunt and ask the question. And I think the answer is probably yes. The business is run by people of sound mind and body, so they're probably going to be fine. But you're allowed to be concerned about this stuff if you're going to give someone $850 of your money.
Yeah, and
it's about that it's 2021 as well, where there isn't a lot of immediacy to it, where you can see a lot happening over the course of more than a year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not even coming next year. Like we're not actually we're like 3/4 of the way through this year. It's not coming for the next year. It's going to come. What was it? February 2021, isn't it?
I thought it was August, wasn't it? Later in 2021.
I don't know. I mean,
Dare I say, we might actually get another Transformers movie before this comes out. Maybe.
We might. It says early 2021.
Okay. Well, what's the EB always has sales, so they're gonna try and stay afloat. And also, I'm gonna actually be trying to pay it off, like at EB, like giving like maybe $50 a month or something. And so I'll be doing my bit to keep EB games alive until this thing gets released.
Yeah, so now they can go buy 100 Switch Micros and lose money on those.
So I actually wonder. I wonder, and I say this because like I like to have these conversations sometimes with myself. I wonder whether EB actually needs to send Hasbro the full amount as backers for this project. Or if the deal that they have with Hasbro Australia is just that it's a pre-order. When I was in Singapore, the going rate for pre-orders of Unicron in Singapore was 800 Singapore dollars, which is about $850. I think a lot of the places that have been offering pre-orders and backings of Unicron, they're slowly sort of like switching over and actually becoming backed by Hasbro. And I think Hasbro needs to see that number get to 8,000 in order to go ahead. We thought that they were going to go ahead with it, but then it turns out that they extended it. So maybe they're not just going to blindly go ahead with it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zeta Toys. Do we reckon their figures are going to come out in 12 months' time, or do you reckon she's off the table? Considering it was only renders anyway.
I've seen pictures of it. Is it not just like a simple redo of the Unicron mod we already have, or something? Or
it is closer in size and scale to the existing Hasbro Unicron. So it's not as ambitious or as big as this one, which probably makes it a bit cheaper. So the thing that's really weird about it is the photograph of it holding up the torso of one of the combiners. That made it look way bigger than it actually is, but people are saying that it is more the size of the existing Armada Unicron. I'm not sure if anyone else can hear that. There doesn't.
I can hear that. Sounds like either someone's having a drag race, or is that dog really farting up a storm?
No, not yet.
Victorian noises.
So my housemates are watching Jurassic Park, and I thought it was a thing from Jurassic Park, but it actually appears to be someone drilling in a wall.
Oh.
That's
so I'm assuming that it will finish at some point.
Do you remember that part in Jurassic Park where they had the hardware section and they were just building up a house?
Yeah,
we'll put the Rex fence back together. Come on the block.
Yes. So anyway, look. I'm not sure there's much else to say about Unicron. Zeta's Unicron has disappeared. People have vowed vengeance on Hasbro for making Zeta Unicron disappear because the internet is a fucking stupid place.
Yeah, they're probably all like, "Oh, I'm going to teach them. I'm not going to pre-order that Unicron. They can get stuffed."
I love how people are like, oh, I'm not gonna crowdfund it. I'll buy it when it gets to a store. I'm like, it's not going to a store. It won't be.
This is made to
Kickstarter.
order, isn't it? Made to order.
Yeah. So just point of clarification, it is not a Kickstarter, it is a crowdfund. Kickstarter is a specific website that runs crowdfunding campaigns. A lot of people do sort of say this and they're like, oh, it's Kickstarter, but it's not. And this is actually, if we're going to rail on things, because like it's episode 20, it's episode 220. 20.
Yeah.
It's like Hawaii 5-0. If we are going to rail on things, this is one of the things that I've been quite annoyed at in terms of third-party companies running their own crowdfunds. People think that they're held in place by the same rules as anything backed on Kickstarter, but it's not, because the third parties, you just put money through your credit card on their website, and they're like, okay, cool, we'll take that as backing of this project, thanks, and then they fuck off with the money, and it's like, oh, but why can't I get my money back? Well, it turns out that no one was actually holding the money in escrow, so yeah bad thing.
It could be said they've given their money to an individual and not a business.
Absolutely,
they don't have to honor it.
So yeah, look, I've had a few discussions with people over whether or not Hasbro really needed to actually crowdfund this as well. It is kind of an open question, right? Because Hasbro the week after saying we need to get 8,000 people to pay $575 for the most expensive Transformer ever, a week after that just came out with their financial results, and it turns out that the company's got about $5 billion. So like, did Hasbro really need to crowdfund 8,000 times 575? Probably not. They probably did not. However,
they're probably just doing this as a test for future crowdfunding things, but it's just so very left field, all of this situation.
Sales are probably down. They're bottom dollars.
I don't think this is going to swell sale figures, though.
No, well, it's clearly not, right? But I think Hasbro gets more out of this being a crowdfund than they do if they just released it as a standard pre-order item. Because being a crowdfund, they get people checking in with it. They get people updating people on the pre-order numbers. They get mainstream websites that don't normally cover Transformers stuff, like IGN and Kotaku and all these other places, publishing news about it. I saw a Facebook post from the Netflix show The Toys That Made Us talking about the Unicron crowdfunding. If it was just a pre-order item, they wouldn't have happened. All of that additional media, all of that additional exposure would not have happened if it was just a standard item. So I think that I don't think they needed financially to make it a pre-order, but I think they benefited by it.
Yeah, I honestly think if they said, look, we're going to be releasing this in 2021, what do you think? I have a feeling a lot of people would just said, yeah, I'll see it when it comes out. But making it a crowd-funded backing thing and only making it to order, I think that's just, I don't know, maybe it's saving them money if this doesn't go ahead, but at the same time, why wouldn't it go ahead, even if it doesn't hit the numbers?
It's a lofty goal, 8,000 backers. People are annoyed that it's taken them this long to actually open a method for people to pre-order in the US and in the UK and Europe. There were people who responded to the news this week that said, look, I already gave up on getting this, and so I spent money on something else, and now you're telling me that, you need £600 by October the 6th. I can't do that.
Yeah.
This was the problem with the original August, was that Hasbro was asking people in the US to suddenly come up with $575 on a month's notice, and a lot of people couldn't do it. So with the extended deadline, maybe they can, but also there are people who gave up on it and put the money into something else. So then even the extended deadline didn't help them either. Well, ultimately, I was going to say, ultimately, I kind of feel that they've really made a fucking shit job of actually figuring out how to run a crowdfunding campaign for this and make it appeal to a global audience.
Yeah, well, at the same time, they had MP44 come out as well.
Has Jason just been cut off?
Yeah, we lost Jason.
Yeah. Oh, thank God it was actually Jason instead of me. I thought I was just going to wait for him.
If he goes, does the whole thing get lost? Oh no, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. We all actually just reloaded.
You got very.
I think you got I think you hit a lag spike there, buddy.
Yeah, maybe I did.
Probably means we've been talking about Unicron for too long.
Yeah.
I think you made a good point, Jason, in that they made a crowdfunding thing because they saw the appeal of crowdfunding and what makes that attractive to people, and they just fundamentally missed the point of what makes so many people get attracted to crowdfunding.
It's very possible. Like crowdfunding is something that has been championed by places like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and a lot of companies now jump onto that bandwagon because they're like, oh, there we go. The news screen share has dropped off as well. Nope, it's back. Companies have jumped onto the bandwagon without necessarily understanding the security that they need to give people who are going to contribute money to their projects, and that's why a lot of the crowdfunding things are essentially an escrow service. They hold on to the money until the funding date, and then they give the funding to the creators. And even then, there are terms and conditions on Kickstarter and Indiegogo that say basically you are purchasing support of a project. You are not pre-ordering an item. If they fuck up their manufacturing, the whole thing might just go. They might not be able to deliver. There was a rather famous technology crowdfund for a laptop shell into which you could plug your phone and essentially turn your phone into a laptop. And I think it was funded about 3 years ago, and they've just had problem after problem after problem with delivering it. And eventually they've limped over the finish line, and no one cares, and the product isn't as good as it was originally meant to be. So, that it's a risk with crowdfunding.
Yeah, you make me feel really good about getting in on this bandwagon.
Yeah, look, you might pre-order Hasbro, you might get Zeta. Who knows?
True.
That's what happened to the Zeta one. Hasbro just like yoink.
Yeah.
Or the third one in the whole crew that has completely unsurfaced, and that's the KO of the Armada one that has disappeared from all news anywhere.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that one was actually a real thing or not, because there seemed to be some confusion over whether or not Zeta's was, or the thing that became Zeta Unicron was actually a KO or an oversized KO. No, you're right. Actually, no, there was a separate one. Someone was going to oversize the original up to the 72 centimeter size of the Hasbro one, because, like, why wouldn't you?
Well, it was going to be an inch taller or something stupid like that just to compete even more. So, anyway.
Yeah. This one's going to be good enough if we get it.
Oh, this will be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, make no mistake. The HasLab Unicron is going to be fantastic. I'm sure of it. Shall we move on?
Yes, please.
Yes.
About something else that people are getting annoyed about.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It's MP44's knees. Now, I came on the podcast 2 weeks ago with MP44 and went, hey, here he is. Actually, no, I didn't actually, because he was sitting out on the kitchen table, because I had gotten to step 13 in the transformation and just gone, oh, this looks like it's something to do with knees. I should probably be careful. And I didn't know anything about what I was meant to do with it. And it was about 5 minutes to podcast time, so I just left it there. And I came in and I was like, the knees are kind of okay. Like, I haven't done anything with them. Turns out, I didn't have any problems with the knees, but I do know people who have. And originally, so within a few days of MP44 Masterpiece Convoy 3.0's release, we started seeing reports of people with broken knee ratchets. And there's a particular ratchet in the knee assembly, which it seems doesn't need to actually be a ratchet and is okay if it's glued in place. And there's all sorts of questions over why they made it the way that they made it. But initially, a lot of us dismissed these claims of dodgy knees as just people who people who did not know how to handle their transformers properly, or people trying to transform things in a rush to be first on YouTube. Turns out that's not the case. There's a video going around which we might link in the show notes that actually very clearly explains what's wrong with MP44's knees and shows you a way that you can actually fix it and take it apart. And this is I don't think this is actually a screenshot from that video, but it's someone else's attempt to actually show you what's wrong with it as well. So there's a bit of information out there. If you do have MP44, I would advise you just handle the knees carefully. Maybe have a look at this. Have a look at the video that we'll link if you're listening to the podcast, and just be careful. Be careful with him. Don't wrestle it around. Don't throw the knees around. Just move them carefully, and you should be okay.
Yeah, I saw Pure's video review, which I shared in the podcast Facebook chat, and even he was saying it looks like they've just needlessly made the knee sort of overcomplicated for something that didn't really need to be so complex.
Superhero landing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Well, so the knee, there is a double hinge in the knee so that he can pull off things like that, but that's not the reason. So you could do that without making this piece of ratchet. You could glue this piece in, and it doesn't actually need to turn around.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could still do the superhero pose or the superhero landing, even if this piece was changed. And so it is just a cautionary tale. Just be careful. And yeah. Now, while we are talking about MP44's knees, however, if your MP44 looks like this, you should definitely send it back. This one that we've got on screen, there was no left knee ratchet.
Oh wow! That is
not to beat a dead horse even more than it already has been beaten, but you know it doesn't have these problems. MP10.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, it also doesn't have a cartoon accurate look and all these other things.
It doesn't have Peter Cullen's voice attached to it.
Do you know it doesn't need it?
He's right. It doesn't need it. We'll do the Peter Cullen voice on the podcast.
I am Optimus Prime, and I say, bleh.
That did sound a little bit more like Dr. Claw.
I have the G1 DVD, and I'll put it in if I want to hear Peter Cullen be Prime.
True.
So to be clear, no one's forcing anyone to buy MP44. No one's forcing anyone to love their MP10 more than MP44. There's simply new releases in the Masterpiece series. That one doesn't have to be better than the other.
The MP44 should have been crowdfunded.
Room with a gun.
Sorry, what was that, Max?
Is that Hisashi Yuki standing in the corner of your room with a gun?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No one's forcing you to buy it.
Yeah. So look, the same discussions were had of MP1 versus MP10.
Oh,
when MP10 came out, people were like, fuck, I like MP1. It's like, you know what? It's okay. Like what you want to like. Like, just because it doesn't need to be a versus thing, one doesn't need to be better than the other. MP44 is better, but yeah.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. So yeah,
a war that goes on for eternity.
Yeah, 4 million years from now, or at least in another 6 years. Actually, in another 6 years, they'll probably have another Masterpiece Convoy, and we'll have the discussion all over again.
Yep.
Although, what I do think will be interesting to see is if there's a reissue of MP44. So this, it's not exactly the same. But Brad, you pointed out that there were issues with MP9, and at the time I said it was completely different. But like, it is completely different. Like, the problem is different. MP9's knees literally exploded and detached the leg from the rest of the body. This is just a piece that gets a little bit bent out of shape and falls off its ratchet. Now, the problem is still it's a knee issue, and I do think it'll be interesting to see if MP44 does get reissued, whether they might quietly fix this as they did with Rodimus's knees by making them metal on the reissue. So there's been a 2.0 release of MP9 for a long time, and there's also been people shipping out metallic knee joints from I don't know if it was non-F or other places, but you've been able to replace broken knee joints on Rodimus for a while, and the reissues don't have the same problem. So Takara is not averse to making running changes to things when they reissue them.
Yeah, well, that's MP9. It was just a plastic issue or whatever, where the knees just decomposed. There's people, minion sealed box collectors out there at the moment with nicely sealed Nemesis and MP9 Rodimus Primes with no knees and probably no legs or thighs because the illness is spreading. Whereas this is just a tension issue or spring being in it too hard or whatever else. So
yeah, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
I hope they do a reissue of MP44 with a better knees and lower price.
It's a shame. It's a shame to hear that these issues are happening. Yeah, because we had the same issues coming out when MP Megatron was coming out. Things were breaking, and luckily that just seems to be overzealous reviewers being a little bit forceful.
Beast Megatron, or
Beast Wars Megatron.
Beast Wars Megatron had issues reported with his hip, but also we haven't heard of that since it came out. So there's a bit of a question over whether or not there really was a problem, or if it's just people wanting to shit on things they can't afford.
Jason, how'd this come in package in alt mode?
He's packaged in truck.
Okay. Okay. So unless you keep it in alt mode, you do require to transform it. There's no way around that. It's not the transformation that causes this. So like the legs are straight when you transform it. It's when you go to pose it after the transformation. So I saw a point where in the instructions I needed to do something with the legs and around the knees, and I thought that it might have been the point at which something happened. It wasn't. And other people have transformed it just fine, but then had the problem happen when they're posing it in robot mode. All right.
So no superhero poses, Brad, if you get it.
I'll definitely not be getting this.
No, you can do a superhero. You can do a superhero landing pose. Just be careful. Just be careful. That's all. Just maybe don't move it at like 10 ratchets a second. Maybe just move it a couple of times. See what happens. Let's move on to yet another disappointing masterpiece story.
200 shows. Yay, let's bring out the disappointment.
Yeah. It has emerged this week that Transformers Masterpiece MP45 G1 Bumblebee Ver 2.0, as he will officially be known on the box, has been delayed to November.
Ooh.
Unofficial back channel communication, by which I mean like completely fabricated by me, says that they're working on his knees.
Yes.
So Bumblebee was due for release at the start of October. A few of us have been anxiously awaiting him. And
who? Yeah. Anyone? No.
Not me.
Crickets.
I've got him on order. I've been anxiously awaiting him. I know at least one other person who collects every single Bumblebee out there who's definitely waiting for him. So he's been delayed to November. No word whether this delays all of the other masterpieces. Hound is meant to be coming out in December, and Hound, I believe, is MP47. So there's a 46, which I think is Black Arachnia, and I don't know if she's meant to come out in the month before or not. We'll find out.
There's a Hound.
There is a masterpiece Hound.
You have been gone for a while, haven't you?
He has been gone for a while.
I've never seen it come up.
This means that Brad has missed the entire neck issue with Hound.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I've seen those photos all the way back last year at SDCC or wherever it come up. Tokyo Toy Fair.
I look forward to that discussion when the figure comes out.
I have Willis, so I do not need to discuss it.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, B is still up for pre-order, and he will be released in November. So we'll see how we go there. Not much else to that story. But I guess if your wallet is still hurting from paying off MP44, you have 2 months reprieve. Surprise masterpiece!
Oh God, not this.
This one will fill in the gaps until November. Actually, no, I'm not sure it will. I think it is coming out next year. MP38 Plus has been announced this week.
Scum Convoy.
Yes, it's a shame there's only a prototype image there.
MP38 Plus is a apparently screen accurate color version of Burning Convoy. He is rendered in exciting red translucent plastic. He is the existing masterpiece Primal, and what was the second release of Primal called?
Optimus Primal.
Supreme Commander version or something like that.
Okay.
So same mold, but rendered in hot, sexy, translucent plastic. And look at that. This has caused much consternation amongst fans who believe that Hasbro and Takara should not use transparent plastic for anything. However, I think if you look at it, he looks pretty freaking hot. Look at that.
Yeah, we have very different opinions.
He is he is literally burning, right? He is hot. This is not being a Beast Wars aficionado myself. My understanding is that there's a point at which Convoy flashes burning hot for like a 5-second interlude or something, and that's what this is based on.
Not the Hasbro version, it doesn't.
I thought maybe this is the only thing is Fire Guts Ginrai, but that's Ginrai, not Optimus Primal.
Yeah, someone's decided to take Primal's skin and make a nice throw rug out of it.
I know, this looks like the Predator's got hold of him and skinned him alive.
Yep, exactly. I want to see that Predator upside down hanging from his ankles.
The Masterpiece Optimus Primal Attack on Titan version.
Oh god, this is not Masterpiece.
Yeah,
piece of shit maybe, but not Masterpiece.
Yeah, well, look, it's a plus. It's a plus. So you don't need it if you're a number completionist. It's fine. So yeah,
let's face it. They need the extra money to fix those knees.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know anyone that said, "Oh, I want to get that." Mind you, at the same time, I haven't seen people shitting on it. But
Bradley,
yeah.
Ooh, I want to get that.
Well, I'm going to shit on you then.
It's times like this I'm glad you live in Perth.
Yeah, me too.
What Primal was Primal 130 or something cost? 125, 130?
Probably, but in the new Takara pricing sale, this will be $550.
Yeah,
lovely. And it'll come with a trailer.
Any masterpiece is under $200. I think those days are pretty much almost gone.
What's the B 2.0? How much is that?
I think it's $250, isn't it?
We're going to figure their ass. All right.
It's not
next.
50, but it's.
I actually don't know. But yeah.
Okay.
So this figure sort of I think it had been rumored a while ago, but it did just sort of come out of nowhere this week with a teaser image appeared. I'm not sure if it was on. I think it was TF Source or Big Bad Toy Store, or one of the US sites appeared with a MP38 Plus Burning Convoy with some kind of a badge that identifies them as a Takara Tomy Transformers official retailer, as if we didn't know that already. But no actual photos, so they followed up with the photos like a couple of days later. But I'm fine with this. I'm gonna add him to my collection. I've been collecting all the Beast Wars masterpieces, even though I never watched the series, but I quite like the masterpiece figures for them.
Oh, you got to start watching the series then, man. That and Beast Machines.
Maybe
very
I
well
should.
worth it.
While we are discussing watching old Transformers cartoons, it is worth noting that Transformers Cyberverse is coming to Netflix at the beginning of October. It'll be season 1. And if you are watching season 2 is available for free on the 9Now streaming application. I believe it's also on Foxtel now. I can't tell because the Foxtel Now app crashes whenever I launch it.
Oops.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, one quick point with Burning Convoy. We have seen great prototype images of this about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
It would have just been the prototype image of Optimus Primal.
Yeah, regular.
No one can prove it is. No one can prove it is. Just saying.
Very good call there.
It's true. We should have known that was coming. So yeah. In fact, like I said, I believe a few people did joke about this being a possibility as a repaint. So
it could have even been MP Primal Plus. We'll see in about 6 months.
It is. It's MP38 Plus.
MP38 Plus.
Speaking of recolors, let's talk about Magic Square. Burpees. Yeah, no, I just muted my microphone while I coughed because I didn't think it was that amusing. Magic Square, also known their Brobdingnag. Did I say that properly? Brobdingnag? I don't know. Let me just
Brobdingnag.
Yeah, Brobdingnag.
Roby Dingnag.
Yep. Magic Square has 2 toy series. One is Legend Scale and one is Masterpiece Scaled. We are looking at the moment at the what's it called? Death Color, also known as Sleep Mode on Real Toys. The Death Color version of their MSB1, which is their what's it called? Magic Square Toys Light of Justice. MSB1, there's B18 actually, sorry, B18. So B is the dark black version, and the S is the sleep, I guess, death color. So we're looking there at the sleep color, which is Optimus Prime in the 30 seconds in the movie that you see him when he turns grey before he passes away. And here is his Nemesis repaint, which. Yeah, I gotta say both of these look pretty hot. They are quite well articulated, quite well detailed, especially considering that they are tiny figures. So yeah,
are these guys transforming, or are they just display in robot mode?
No,
they're
transforming.
Yeah, they transform. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they do.
They look pretty cool.
Not sure of the price of these. Does anyone have these figures? Not these repaints, but the originals.
No.
Oh, I can get them up right now.
Okay,
I was seeing them earlier. They are about $60 each. AED.
Ooh.
At least that's on Show's store, which is basically they're pretty well just middle of the road prices. So
like, look, it's expensive for a Legends figure, but also they are pretty nicely detailed. Do they come with a trailer?
I don't believe so. Not that I can see any images of these guys.
I can see a trailer in this.
He's lying in it. Yeah, he's lying in a trailer.
Trailer it is.
Yeah. well done. Thanks, Max. It was a long walk, but we got there.
Yeah.
So Magic Square's got new Legends repaints of Optimus Prime, one in sleep mode and one in Nemesis mode. Now, if I just move this image, if I put this image on screen here, this one. So they've also replicated this pose with their masterpiece. Oh wait, did they? Maybe they did. Similar. God damn it, he's gone somewhere. It was similar. So Magic Square Brobdingnag also makes a masterpiece scale, which is MS1.
It was MS1, yeah.
So MSB is whatever. So this is the masterpiece scale version that we're looking at. You can tell because there's a few finer lines on panels and things on it. and just generally everything looks a little bit better proportioned. So there is a death color version of him as well. So he's MS1S. Again, the S would probably be for sleep mode. Although the picture that we have on screen, he looks pretty alive to me because he's up and trying to shoot things with his gun. And open the matrix. Oh, actually, this is really interesting. If you look at that, So I've got the picture up where he's opening his chest to reveal the matrix. You can actually see a shattered window on his left hand window.
Oh yeah. See a little spider web damage.
Can't quite make that out in any of the other photos, in fact. But yeah, so there's a possibility that we might have some battle damage effects on the sleep mode version. I don't know, or maybe it's just a paint application.
Yeah, it could just be a sticker that they've applied for the photo.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, but you can actually get stickers. You can actually get such stickers for other figures. So yeah, maybe it's, maybe that's just maybe that sticker will be on the figure in the box. So.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. Max, do you have a listing for this guy in front of you? Do you know how much he is?
I did. I can get it back. I think it was about 160. And 145.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the Magic Square Optimus Prime has been held up next to MP44, and there are some points in which you really can't tell the difference between some of them. So they've done a fantastic job of engineering them.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, it's funny, we said when we'll talk about Unicron, how people seen the HasLab Unicron going, buggy, I'm going to go for Zeta Toys, where back when MP44 was announced, they come out with this and another company come out with their MP scaled Prime as well, and a lot of people were doing the same thing. I'm not going to pay for the Takara one, I'll go for the third party. And even now, people have been posting up photos and that of this, or their original Masterpiece scaled Prime, and I haven't seen too many bad things about it. Aesthetics.
I haven't seen bad things about these new Masterpiece scaled Primes at all. Like they genuinely look like good figures, but the fact is they're still unofficial, and there are things that the official figure does and includes and stuff that you're not going to get from the third party version. You might get knees, who knows?
But you won't get Peter Cullen.
Yeah,
well, you might. We can't. We don't really know.
True.
Well, we discussed when they were coming out. Like at the time, it was all purely aesthetic. If you liked one or over the other, and we're just going to wait until they start coming out to wait and see if the engineering was horrible. It being their first figure released, and it seems the engineering works.
Yeah. Look, the one thing I will say is that. So there's a couple of things, right? There's screw this, I'll wait for the KO, which I believe there has been a bit of KO news come out for MP44. There is someone releasing a knockoff of it. Seems very quick. Don't know quite how good it's going to be. Don't know. I mean, it's a KO. We don't expect them to actually be good. Sometimes they are, and it's surprising. But I find this attitude of no, fuck you, I'm going to buy the one that's made by someone who's ripping off your stuff, or I'm going to buy the cheaper one that's made by someone else. To a certain extent, I find that's been a prevailing attitude at least in the Australian collector space for a while. It's like when people were unable to find the Power of the Prime Dinobots, people were like, oh, screw it, I'll just buy the KOs instead. I mean, the Dinobots were all sitting in Maya stores all the time anyway. You just didn't go in to see them. But
because they'll twice the price.
But that's the thing, right? Like, there is a distinct willingness to go for the cheaper option, regardless of whether it might have issues or not. And I think the higher the price the official masterpieces, the more they encourage that attitude. And to the question of whether or not Masterpiece 44 is a $550 toy, I don't think he's worth $550. Like, I can't tell you why that figure is $550. If it was $350, I'd be like, yeah, no, that's a really good figure. Like, you can see why it's $350 instead of $200 or whatever. If it was $400, you could still see like they've packed in a bunch of accessories. But $550, and in fact, like $585 is actually how much I pay, but that's on the cheaper side now. Like, now that it's out and released, like people are like paying upwards of $600 or so. There was one that went on eBay in Australia for $900. But you know what?
Wow.
Whoever bought it with their eyes open, and they're probably happy with it.
Yeah, they were after it. They needed the figure and they wanted to buy it, so they paid for it. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like I joked before about mine being double the price, but if you're after those figures, you're going to pay more for them, and that's collecting.
Yeah, paying for the label of an official product, but I mean MP44. I think he is literally as close as you're going to get to an on-screen representation of Optimus Prime in your hand.
He does have certain slavish followings of the on-screen representation.
Well, a transformable one, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's move on to yet another Optimus Prime story. There's the Perfect Effect PEDX10G Godforce Warrior, also known as God Ginrai. We do have some colored prototype images of him to have a look at. I gotta say, so are you guys fans of like the God Ginrai incarnations of Prime and the like?
I really like Super God Master Force, the cartoon series, and I've got the gift set that came out last year of God Ginrai. And yeah, so I'm a pretty big fan of Ginrai, but I'm very happy with that gift set from last year, and I don't really see a need for whatever the hell he's doing to his trailer there.
It's a gun platform.
Yeah, but it just looks very wrong the way he's got.
He's leaning into it.
So
with his hips.
So according to the news report that we're looking at, he is a retool of an existing Perfect Effect figure. So he is PEDX10 Jet Power Revive Commander, but this is the G version. So he's been sort of retooled into God Ginrai. So this is not the first time that we've seen the figure, but it looks pretty new because of all the extensive pieces that they've added on and remolded.
Yeah, I thought it looked familiar, and I was going to ask if we've seen this before and report on. Need we talk about it? But I've got no connection to the character whatsoever. But it's all that looks fantastic. That looks great. Robot, he looks like a damn fine robot. If I had the space and the money, I'd probably look at getting it. But priorities.
Yeah, look, you're probably quite right. Like he does look like he's got, the chops. He's got quite good articulation. You can see him with two hands on the rifle in this shot.
Look at those knees, double jointed.
Yeah. Well, so this is the thing. Like, we are getting the double hinged knees more frequently now, so that they can pull off poses like this. Whether or not they hold together, we'll find out. But so given that this is a retool, there's not actually an extensive. There's not actually an extensive lead time for this coming out. He is coming out in November. So if you are interested, then warm up your wallets, because come November, you'll be able to get yourself a new God Ginrai.
Oh, very nice.
One thing I will say against this piece, though, is the look that you get with the combined mode. He's missing God Bomber in vehicle mode, but that's just me.
Yeah, the second trailer is not there. You're right.
Yeah.
But
yeah, still looks cool. I mean, if you're a fan of this aesthetic, then go for it.
Yeah.
That trailer does break down a lot to become that figure too. Well, there's some smaller noticeable trailer pieces there, but for the most part, engineering looks really good on it.
That cab looks similar to MP10 actually, but I don't think it's masterpiece scale size, is it?
Boo! Boo!
You're not actually allowed to compare anything to MP10 anymore.
Oh, okay. So it looks nothing like MP44, I must say.
Do you think he might look like something else? Oh, it's MP1. Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
he does look a little squat in the cab, which I think the squat cab and chest sort of maybe continues through to the robot mode as well. I don't know, but
yeah. I'm pretty sure that chest is not the front of the truck.
Confirmed.
Maybe. We'll see. All right, let's move on. We have a couple of brief couple of brief news nuggets to go through. There are in-hand images of War for Cybertron's Siege Leader class, for some reason, Astrotrain, making their way around. I believe, like other Leader class figures, he's sort of a Voyager class figure with add-on bits. Is that what we're seeing?
I'd call them more a large deluxe with snap-on armor.
That is actually the size of Voyagers now.
Oh,
they are large deluxes.
Yeah, he
Well, you
looks.
can see the impact of it.
Actually, you know what? Just to be fair, so like he's got little platform shoes. Does he? Yeah, he's got little platform shoes. But it does look like so he's a little bit shorter than the inner robot of Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. So so he's about the same size, and as you said, he is a little bit larger than a deluxe.
I question why they're posing it with that Galaxy Prime and not with the current release Prime.
Not with the current what?
Isn't there's a Siege Prime?
Yeah,
Why is
there is, but he's a Voyager.
Oh,
I think it's also because aren't they wave mates as well now? Like Astrotrain's coming out with the re-release of Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Well, that might make sense. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe, and if that would also make sense as to why Impactor is there, although it is the Decepticon Impactor from the Fan Vote 3-pack that is on Amazon. So I think it's just really for comparison purposes. You can see that he looks a little bit shorter than Galaxy Convoys in a robot. He's a little bit bigger than a deluxe, but he does come with extra pieces. So fair enough. And he can carry them all in a backpack, apparently.
Yeah, but what are those other pieces? I mean, I know in vehicle mode they become part of the train, but in robot mode it's just kibble?
In robot mode it's like a little weapons platform or something, I don't know.
So they put $20 extra on the price.
It's generally how they work these days, Brad.
Yeah. I was in mid-target today and they got Leader Shockwave and Ultra Magnus in today, and it's good that he looks, without all the pieces, he looks pretty faithful to G1. Magnus and Shockwave looks absolutely terrible. I could not justify paying $100 for those figures. It's
a good thing you only have to pay $80.
No, that too, but the Siege line has not grabbed me at all. And where this figure looks fine, depending on scale, he might go up next to some of the Decepticon masterpieces, maybe. But yeah,
sorry, Bradley. I'm going to take over this.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a shame that Siege has not grabbed you, Brad, because they are actually really fun toys. Like I've got Brunt in my hand, and he's all of this. Like the Siege figures are all of these things that we've been asking Hasbro to embrace for such a long time. Like they've got ankle tilts, they've got double elbow things, they've got articulated hands, they've got so many ports to attach extra weapons on there. Like they're compatible with weapon pieces from other toy lines, and you can get effects pieces from you can walk into a hobby shop and get effects pieces that you use with Gundam and stuff like that, and they've all got 5mm peg ports. They're really compatible and they're really articulated at the price point that they're at, and it really is a step up over the engineering that we saw in the last trilogy. And I was thinking about this week. I don't know what the hell they're going to do for the second part of this toy line. The first part of this toy line has had so many hits. They've been really good figures.
Well, that's obvious. Next time they put a 2 on the box. But last time I was on, I reported about I got the Siege Starscream, which is not a good entry point into the line at all. But I was nearly going to jump on Hound today. There he is. I was nearly going to jump on Hound because I do like the way it looks in both modes. But again, going back to our discussion earlier about income and working, having money and all that, I wasn't going to put $35 onto a deluxe. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, so do not pay $35 for a deluxe.
No.
Don't. Seriously, price match the fucking things or wait until there is a price match. You've got stores that you shop at, and might you say, I don't have any stores locally that sell things, but you've got Target, you've got Myer, you've got Big W. They will price match, and Kmart will price match as well.
Okay.
Maya has had 20% off Transformers for a couple of weeks now, and that's gone. But it was a blanket 20% off. You could have just walked into a store and said, "Hey, I want 20% off. I want you to price match Maya," and they would have done it. And if they didn't, then just walk out.
Yeah.
They're like, do not pay full price for these things. Make sure that you price match them.
Yeah. No, that's. I've been pretty in the dark over the last 12 months with collecting and buying figures at stores because I haven't had the money to do so. And now I'm sort of coming back out of that dark time. I need to.
That's okay. There also haven't been any figures to buy at stores.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
Yeah. that's why I've been spend money elsewhere.
But absolutely, do not pay $35 for a deluxe when they're also on sale at other shops for $25.
Yeah.
Kmart's standard price for the deluxes is $29. Like, regardless of whether Maya wants $35 or not, just tell them you want them to price match Kmart. And if they don't, go buy it at Kmart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just vote with your wallet
when they get it in. If they get it in.
Yeah. Also, Kmart's been getting stock in. Target's been getting stock in. Different companies have different price match policies. I've been buying Lego in the last couple of weeks, right? And David Jones has got 25% off every Lego kit at the moment. And so I went into Maya in Melbourne and I tried to get 25% off some Lego that I knew David Jones didn't stock. And they checked on the thing and they're like, oh, unless it's in store at the David Jones store next to us, we won't price match it. And I'm like, well, that's not what your price match policy actually says. Like, your price match policy does not limit by region or anything like that. But whatever. So I left and I didn't buy anything. But then on Monday, I went to Maya in Sydney and I went to David Jones in Sydney. David Jones didn't have the thing that I wanted, but Maya did. And I asked the Maya people if they'd price match, and they said yes. So like if at first you don't succeed, try again, and eventually you'll find the person who A, can't be bothered checking, or B, will actually know what their price match policy actually states.
Yeah. Good tips.
The best tip that I can give you is, if you go into a store and you find something that you want, know the store's price match policy, and then open up your phone and Google Transformers, Siege, Deluxe, or Voyager prices and see what Google comes up with, because Google will usually tell you the cheapest option for them. And sometimes if you're in a store and another store just has like 25% off, or they might have, like Transformers, Siege, Voyager class assorted figures. And if they don't say Starscream and Soundwave and you're trying to buy Springer, if it says assorted figures and it's Voyager, it's written right there on the box. It's Voyager. It's a Voyager. It's an assorted figure. Price match me, please. And also, generally, the companies will let you do it because they just don't want the headache.
Yeah, true.
All right, enough shopping pro tips. Let's move on. This was meant to be news in brief.
True.
Work out.
News in brief. Astrotrain is out. Another bit of interesting artwork cropped up during the week. Ken Christiansen, who does a lot of the packaging design for figures and Brad's holding up his acquisition. We'll get to it later. We got to look at some of Ken Christiansen's concept art for Ectotron. And there's a couple of differences between this and the Ectotron that we got and the actual the box art for Ectotron, which is a little bit different. But you can see the head design is actually pretty consistent. I actually take a bit of issue with Ectotron's head design because I feel like in the comics they've portrayed him very differently. But the head design is what it is, and there's also a difference in the way that the bonnet and the front of the bonnet and the wings and the shoulder wings transform. But it's well worth checking out. There'll be a link to it in the show notes, and you can sort of see what might have been for Ectotron originally, and then I think once they realized that they were going to retool Hotspot into Ectotron, I think that's when it all just sort of fell into place. But still, very fond of Ectotron as a figure. I quite like it. I do find his knee assembly, ironically, because it's kind of the topic for the night. The knee assembly I find lacking, but what are you going to do?
No, it is interesting. They've gone here for the classic Transformers sort of design of the front of the car being the chest and the torso. And that's something they definitely changed.
Well, I think it's just they realized they probably couldn't make this concept art a reality.
Well, the proportions would be way off.
They could make this concept art into something they could retool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, like, it's not. I mean, you can sort of see where Ken's sort of just gone. Oh yeah, you can move this up and down around. But no, you're right. Like, he doesn't have the responsibility of actually creating something that can actually transform.
Yeah.
Which we've seen a lot of that for a lot of the movie concept art too, where design a character. How the hell is that going to transform into alt mode?
Design something and then realize it are two very, very different things.
Yep.
Yeah. On to, I think, possibly the last story, which is if you are in the market for Generation Selects, there's the Generation Select Tyrannicons. You can purchase them at EB Games. They are coming in February 2020. You will find that they're a little bit expensive considering that they are just deluxes at this point. But I will just point out that if you browse particular local importers' websites, you might find these a little bit cheaper than EB Games. So yeah, but again, I mean, the main story here is that EB Games' cooperation with Hasbro still a thing, and they're getting more figures in. In fact, when I asked them at the start of August whether they'd start bringing in Generation Select figures, the answer was it's unlikely. So, well, here we are in September, and apparently it's now a thing. So. You never know. You might see them bring in some of the US Generation Select figures. We'll see.
EB Games. How about some of those Walmart exclusive G1 reissues? We learnt recently that Devastator's being redone as well and hitting shelves again. So if you get some of those Generation 1 reissues at EB Games, that'd be.
So the G1 reissues are not even like completely exclusive to Walmart. Like. They're showing up all over toy shops in Asia, like every other US store exclusive. Like it's only a regional exclusive for that store. So the latest thing is the formerly Japanese cassettes, Noizu and Garafi, and they're packaged inexplicably with Frenzy. Was it Frenzy? I think it's Frenzy. There's a 2-pack and a 1-pack.
Is it red or purple?
I can't remember. No, I think he's blue. There was also an amusing story with that because they're produced as 2 individual cards, but they're joined. And if you flip them over, the tech specs for one are on the back of the other, so you can't even cut them apart and have the backs of the box make sense. It's like seriously, whoever designed these was asleep at the wheel. So yeah. Brad, you had some new acquisitions to take us through. Do you want to?
It has been a little while. Like one of the last times I was on, we were having discussing. I can't remember the name now. One of the third-party companies are doing their own movie Devastator, and I pretty much said then that Studio Series be damned. I'll be going for the third-party ones. Well, I found this guy when I was over at Nerdmania, and just the detail, everything's reversed. I can't do it. Just the silver paint and the detail on him. Studio Series, and you now have my attention. These will be my Constructicons. I think the connector ports and that are absolutely horrendous, and I do not see Devastator staying together as well as hoped. So these will be my Constructicons. Hightower as well, come a couple of weeks ago. Transformers don't need to be people. It's fine. and Long Haul as well, which I was really happy with the original Voyager Long Haul, and I've still got it. But this guy is fantastic, and I'm kind of hoping Studio Series retool it into Onslaught. We'll see. Stranger things have happened, so they're that's the Studio Series stuff. I still have not found a Studio Series Prime, unfortunately. 38. If anyone has one, finds one, let me know. And of course, topic of discussion, Ectotron. Brad will talking in chat about to open or not to open. There's still tape on that box. I can't do it. I know you can cut it, you can pull it out, you can put the insert back in. It's not like the original figures where you're pulling that plastic off the cardboard at the back, but it's minty fresh. I don't know. I just love the fact they went so G1, even like instructions on top, the original G1, the 84 box art on the back. It's just.
Did they actually insert Ectotron into it, or is he just completely absent?
No, he's completely absent. But you do have Hound, you've got Ironhide and Trailbreaker cars flying in space.
I know they're great. Like it's fine. We all know how good the box art was.
Yeah, but just the fact we've got an Ectotron, Ecto One. As I said when it came out, I'll probably never even transform it. Just having an Ecto One figure, like they don't even do them in diecast 132 or whatever.
They do. I walked past one in a game shop the other day. Like there are other options out there if you just want an Ecto One car.
Yeah.
I'm really up tonight.
You've been gone for a few months, man.
Yeah,
So
I don't know if it's 132. I don't know, but I know that there's diecast.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no. I'm just really looking forward now to maybe an MP or Black Arachnia or something. Oh yeah, that's happening as well. Anyway, that's new acquisitions. As I said earlier, Unicron is organised, pre-ordered. When that gets here, that's all going to change because most of it will probably go. I think
you'll have to remove at least 3 shelves.
Yeah. That Unicron in there. Well, I got the DX9 Dinobots Dutch, DX9 Megatron, Shockwave. Those little figures on that big Unicron the scale won't be not complete.
I think
perfect.
Okay. So I thought you'd frozen, but it turned out you crashed mid-sentence.
Yeah, no, that crashed. The scale's not going to be exact, but I just think if I can get some little blue tack and have those Dinobots on the side of Unicron's head, and I think it'll be a piece to view. And I just done the clip show last week, and Jason, going back to episode 101, you're talking about having your figures displayed in poses, doing something, not just 20 bots in a cube standing there. I think that's
at the moment.
I think just having some sort of scene set up with the figures doing something, I think will be really, really special, and I can't wait to get all that sorted up. But I need one big planet killer to get here before I can start doing that.
I don't know. Like I think you can do plenty before Unicron arrives. Like you kind of need to pave the way for him.
Oh, I'll keep on getting some small stuff.
You get some Heralds of Unicron.
Yeah.
Well,
didn't you got that you got that Knights of Unicron set from SDCC from a few years ago, didn't you?
Is that the Rock Band one?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I wanted it, but I didn't get it. No.
Oh,
I
right.
thought you got it. Didn't you get it?
No.
Oh.
This has gone well early. Yeah. All right.
Well, that's the other problem I'm going to have too is with Unicron. Well, okay, only 2 of the Dinobots or 3 of the Dinobots turned up, and I'm not going to be able to have the Seekers on there. I'll have to have Cyclonus and the Sweeps and.
No, you know what? Fuck it. You can do whatever you want with your display. It's your $850. It's your collection. You do what you want. Like, it doesn't have to be the G1 movie. It could be the comics. It could be anything you want.
Well, he may be coming to destroy Earth.
Maybe.
Yeah. Terrible man for a planet.
I mean, he did that in IDW. He came to destroy Earth, and they hugged it out.
Comic talk. I'm starting to get sleepy.
Yeah. It was my secret. It was my secret signal to move on. Bradley, you have something to show us as well.
Yes, it's not too much really. It's just I finally got my 3 refractors, the retail animation lookalike ones. Did a bit of a fan mode there.
It's not a fucking fan mode.
Oh God! No wonder you're single.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm not single because of my fan mode transforming.
Oh, okay.
Of the last 2 days.
If it's a mode that a fan has used, then it's a fan mode.
Yes.
I prefer the modes.
Very, very happy to have the animation accurate version of Reflector, I guess. I've got the G1 version, and if you've got the G1 version, you know that it doesn't look anything like the animation model. So it's very nice to have the 3, and yeah, that's my acquisitions for the week. Very happy to have it.
Yeah, and so there's the 3 guns form the sort of the tripod that it sits on, and the 3 shields.
3 shields.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also one of the. I mean, you can just use one of the little fan things that they have as a shutter button, and yeah, use your imagination.
Yeah, I've got a couple hidden behind if anyone's in the area, to Lego R2D2 that no one wants. There's a couple hidden behind there on shelves, though. I'll
discover those in 5 years' time when they do a stock take.
Yeah, well, now I might go in and price match.
I reckon. Yeah, Brad, these will be the perfect introduction for you to Siege. I mean, you've got Starscream, haven't you, or you've not got Starscream?
No, I got Starscream, but
yeah.
Even just the robot modes, like the robot modes look fantastic, and I will not doubt that they look great, and even that camera mode looks good as well. But yeah, it was just $105 for the 3 of them. It was going to be a bit of a stretch, but if I can price match to somewhere that's cheaper, I'll
go price match.
For that.
I think I've got mine.
Kmart's cheaper.
Yeah,
I think I got because I bought one from Kmart because that was the only one they had. And then just a couple of weeks ago, I went to Maya and I saw 2 sitting next to each other and grabbed them, paid for them, and I think I paid $56 because I think they had a promotion running at the time. Buy one, get one slightly reduced. Yeah, it's just very nice to Yeah, I don't think I paid 100 all up. I think I may have paid 90, 80 something. Didn't pay 100.
So, Brad, what store is your refractors at? Is it at
Target?
Target, right? So Target will price match Kmart. Kmart says Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Deluxe figure assorted.
There you go.
And they're $29.
Yep. So there's $9.
You're going for a trip tomorrow, my friend.
Oh, they'll still be there on Monday.
and also, just so we're clear, if you Google the words Target price match, Target's price match policy is actually the best toy price guarantee. Let's just go over the terms. It says if you happen to find our toys advertised cheaper, we'll match it. Just bring in a copy of the current printed advertising material and or a link to an Australian online retailer that pictures or specifies an eligible item with the stated price. We'll do the rest. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, after you've already done everything.
Online retailer is quite impressive there too.
Well, sorry, what was that?
The inclusion of online retailers in that is pretty impressive.
It is, especially because I've been really fucking up Bunnings with price matching to Amazon Australia for the last couple of months. Bunnings will do a price match plus 10%.
Oh,
it'll be a bit weird though trying to get a price match at Target because they don't have a service desk anymore. It's just self-serve checkouts.
You just ask the people at the register. There are always staff at the registers, and they'll do it.
Yeah, because I'm always breaking those self-serve things.
Yeah.
Come out of the country for a visit, Brad. There's the service desk there is still.
Oh, okay.
The staff are all capable of doing price matches.
Question. Yes, I've been putting the run sheets together and editing the show for the last 6 months, but does Takara have a Legends or any? What's Siege over there? Is there a Takara Siege line?
It is Siege, and it's exactly the US stuff with a slight packaging change to accommodate the translation of Siege.
So there's not there won't be a Takara free pack of the reflector bots or nothing. That's that G1 version that you can get at online retail only.
So like it's hard to say, right? Hasbro. So Takara does a few things, and Bradley really wants to say something.
No, I don't. I'm the only camera on still.
Oh, yes, you are. All right, let's do this. So Takara does do a few things that Hasbro doesn't, but they haven't for Siege. Except they have, in fact, and we didn't mention it. There is a Nemesis repaint of Siege Optimus Prime, the Voyager figure coming out from Takara. Because Takara likes their Nemesis versions of things, so they've taken it upon themselves to do that. So they're not like, it's not a different paint job or anything like that. It is literally a figure that Hasbro is not releasing. Well, it's just a repaint that Hasbro is not releasing. So, as I said, the Hasbro G1 reflector box, the box is very elaborate. Like, it comes with Kremzik in it, and it also comes with additional parts to attach to the combined 3 mode to make them look more like a real camera. Like, this box was intended to be something really special, and it was intended to be a HasCon exclusive. And that makes sense when you look at what's in the box and everything like that. And then in the end, they've just gone, oh, fuck it, let's just put it out at retail because there's no convention.
Yeah.
And so it's become like, I don't know if it's actually become an online store thing, because like you've seen them in stores overseas, in the stores that import things and things that, you know, get their stock from Hasbro and sell them. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to appear at retail at Kmart or anything like that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Understood.
It also doesn't mean Takara won't do something else. They might. We never know.
Didn't they say, like, in the last couple of years, though, that they're going to be more uniform, like,
yes.
instead of having,
So that the exact statement for that meant that they're not going to be doing their own paint jobs or anything like that for the mainline Siege figures. They're going to import the American ones and relabel them. It doesn't mean that they're not going to do their own things as well, but they're not going to do their own molds or their own figures. Although then, here you go, there's the Generation Selects that are coming from Takara, all the Piranicons. They're not American Generation Selects, they're Takara.
So I guess it's like mainline, but if it's slightly off to the side, they can still do their own thing.
Yeah, they'll do their own thing sometimes. Yeah, and that was pretty much what they said at the time. They said, you know, we reserve the right to do some special edition things through Takara Tomy Mall.
Yeah,
which is exactly what the Seacons are. Since we're on new acquisitions, I'm going to give myself the camera for a minute. My place has been invaded by bots. 2 or 3 bots have turned up. Yes, that is an orange that turns into a Triceratops.
Nice.
Look at it. Look at it. It's amazing.
Is that a Dino bot?
Yeah, pretty much. There's I don't even remember what this guy is, but like I'm so loving the bots, just their figures, their face designs, everything. And then of course there's also this guy who might be the ultimate bot. This is Swoonberry. Like, he is a box of berries, and he also happens to have Thunderclash's colors.
Wow.
And Thunderclash also causes Transformers to swoon when he walks into the room that they're in. I give you the bots version of Thunderclash, Swoonberry.
Very nice.
He is pretty awesome. He's lovely. I have found that in the 3rd series of bots, I think I'm pretty sure that we've said this before. Like, the people who are designing bots at Hasbro are having way too much fun doing their jobs. Like let me just look at what's on the table in front of me here. What do we got? Oh, I haven't even got the ones that I got in Melbourne last week. So I picked up the arcade pack, and I think they're all in my room. So this guy's a hi-fi speaker. So like the speaker becomes his eye, and what am I doing? I'm trying to. Speaker becomes his eye, and like like any bot, he's a quick transform. And I just like push that in there and that in there, and you close that around there, and it's like, there you go. He's a speaker. Like he's a hi-fi speaker. That's great. There's one that's a fucking piano, because why not? Like botbots are so much fun. How could you hate any of them?
And that's the thing. You get the $20 the 5 packs from Target.
There's one that's a bonsai plant. Oops, he's gone.
Oops.
he was a bonsai plant. I don't know what he is now. There's so much fun to be had with them. Wait a sec. I'm just gonna transform this one and show you his old. He's a TV with a fireplace. a log fire on the TV, right? Like you can't make this stuff up. It's amazing.
Love to know who's the person actually designing these at Hasbro, because they must be having the time of their life.
I think they must be. I think they absolutely must be. This one's a perfume bottle. Which, when you I just want to point out, like, when you open up the perfume bottle into like his robot mode, his nose is a love heart.
Oh,
I know, right? It's so good and wholesome, right? It's so it's amazing. So yeah, who's this one? I don't know. This one's a book. I can't figure it out. Whatever. My place has been invaded by Series 3 botbots and the arcade challenge botbots. In fact, it does remind me that I have the Con Crew botbots 10 pack sitting just not a million miles away from here. I have not opened it yet. Apparently, some of the Con Crew ones, they've even got fabric on them.
Wow.
Materials and everything on them. So, yeah, I'll open them up in the next week or so and get some photos of them. So, yeah.
Sounds interesting.
So, yeah, that's been my new acquisitions as well. We're pretty much at the end of the show. It's been a little bit of a marathon effort. I think we've gone for like an hour and a half or so. I say an hour and a half. It's nearly 2 hours. That's fine.
Yeah, but when he's edited down, it'll probably be half hour.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Still for episode 200.
We're like, yay, 200. Good night, everybody.
Might just do something special and release it unedited.
Oh, there you go. That could be fun consuming.
Not for me.
Oh, true. Yeah, go for it. Unedited, 200. Yummy.
We seem to have lost all our listeners.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's go. Let's finish the show. TCCA business, Brad. You've noted happy birthday, TCCA, which we've noted several times during the show. Do we have convention appearances coming up? I mean, we do have one going on this weekend. It'll be too late by the time people listen to this.
Yeah, no. As we speak, Simon and the crew are at Bendigo.
Yeah, I think it's
Bendigo. I think they're out drinking.
That's not the actual name.
Yeah. Also too late to announce now. Jared and the crew are up at Oz Comic Con in Brisbane, so they're the two big They're the two big conventions happening this month.
I think Brad's due for an intervention.
Sleep intervention. After that, we're looking ahead to maybe some Christmas parties before Christmas gets here, because the year's pretty much nearly over. We're nearly there.
Yeah, true. We had a meetup 2 or was it 3 weeks ago in New South Wales. We'll be looking to have another one shortly. I'll have to check in with the crew. In fact, I think we're looking to have a meetup in New South Wales the night of Oz Comic Con, which I think is I don't think it's next week, is it?
Well,
I'm not going to Oz Comic Con, so I'm not sure.
If it runs the same as Nova, they run a week apart.
2 places,
so, yeah, so I dare say probably.
In fact, yes, it is next week. So Oz Comic Con Sydney is September 28th to 29th, which makes sense. It's 7 days from now. Yes, just doing maths. So yes, we will in fact be having a New South Wales meetup next week. If you are listening to this and you're in New South Wales, get in touch. We'll have an event up in the group shortly. All right. Cool. That is it. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for listening to the past 200 episodes. If you haven't, you've got a lot of listening to do. If you are watching along with the live record, which I did see a couple of numbers flick up, it is a Saturday night. We know. Thank you for checking us out. You'll find out more about these stories and more in the show notes. They're posted to the Transformers Weekly Facebook page. Are they actually? I'm not sure they are. And the Podbean site. If you want to get in touch with us, we're all in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook, and you can also find our Facebook page, Australian Transformers Weekly. If you're not already subscribed, hit us up on iTunes, Pocket Casts, Spotify, Google, iTunes, YouTube, and more. The RSS feed is in the show notes if you're getting it. If you're getting it without the actual feed. And we are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. Happy 6th birthday, TCCA. We are a registered club in Victoria. We're run by volunteers like us, donating their time and Saturday nights like us, and sometimes money to make the club better for everyone. Make the club better for everyone and make life better for Transformers collectors in Australia. And of course, you know what? It's better if the club is better. Everyone's things are better, right? So, we want the club to be good. Our goal is to connect Transformers fans around the country. We do it by engaging the collecting community and speaking at length on podcasts on a Saturday night like this. You can find more information, including affordable yearly membership options, to show your support for what we do at transformerscca.com. You can find me on Twitter at James77. Max, do you want to give out your Twitter account? Or are you ashamed of it?
My Twitter account is Max Enough Cole. I mostly post about politics and environmental stuff, but I'm also Meme Cryptum, which is the Halo page. So not a lot of Transformers content there.
It's still fine. Bradley, you're on Twitch.
Yes, twitch.tv.com/groovyguy0069. I think it's the full.
If you are on Twitch, you need to learn the Twitch URL, which is in fact twitch.tv.
Yeah, that one. You can also find me on Discord. If you're on Discord, just look for Groovy Guys Discord domicile, and you'll find me there. Always on there as well as on Twitch. So hopefully I'll see you there.
And Brad, how can people get in touch with you to lend feedback besides finding you on the Facebook page?
You can head over to transformerscca.com, where you'll find all sorts of news. And this just in, I'm declaring a climate emergency. Emergency over. Good night, guys.
God, that dog must have really been farting up a storm.
Let's just say there is a Mayfield build up in here, but it's probably not all from the dog.
All right. Thank you for listening, everyone, and thank you for watching. And we'll be back with the start of the next 200 next week.
See you later, guys. Thanks for the last few years.
Don't hang up.
There we go. We're live. Brad's doing a dance. Bradley's doing a dance. Fuck, this is going to be annoying.
Yeah, see? I was like, just leave it at 3.
You're even above and below each other on the screen. It's like the Brady Bunch.
Can we confirm?
I think
Brady Bunch.
I think the whole thing, we're actually all like a kind of a shithouse Brady Bunch. Ready?
It's tickling my brain.
Brad, look to the right.
This isn't going to work because my video is not mirrored.
In
It's
Brad.
not mirrored.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're looking.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Max, look up.
No, there we go.
Max, look up.
Look up.
Hey, hi.
Hello.
Hi. And Bradley, diagonally up to the right.
Looking good, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, we're annoying the LD listeners, really.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
If if people can do it on the TV weather reports, we can do it as well. As a matter of fact, StreamYard does let us replace backgrounds, so we could do a TV weather report if we wanted to.
Tomorrow everything's going to be very squiggly.
Watch out if you live here, because there'll be explosions.
Someone's put a flag over here.
Max killed someone for Triton.
A what?
I'm just gonna wander into the Facebook group and put a link to episode 200.
Lovely. We made it, guys. We got there.
Actually, can you send it to me?
We found a way.
Perth page. I get a few peeps in. Wow.
Yeah. Also, I'll put the link in the chat there. You can grab it from there.
All right. Sweet.
Tonight, Peter Cullen will be replaced by keyboard typing.
Before time began.
There was.
Clippity clop, clippity clop.
Yes. Also, special guest host Peter Cullen replaced by Max in South Australia. And yes, he's still missing the battery.
I was like looking into that because I got in an argument with someone online about it. It's been 2 years now. And we're still on this.
What's that? What's happening? What's been 2 years? Is like they shut the battery
2 years
down
since the blackouts.
2 years with no blackouts.
At least about 100 episodes, about 200. We're still on the batteries.
We've got.
I thought they shut the whole.
If that isn't a
They shut the whole thing down.
200 episodes, I don't know what is.
I've got a picture preview for that link, and I'm in the middle of doing the. I look like I'm doing a really enthusiastic piano recital.
I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. So Max, I thought they shut the Tesla battery down because like they had an election and decided that they didn't like Elon Musk, which is probably a decision that most of the internet should make at some point as well.
Well, I think they decided they didn't like most things that were running interstate at the time. But yeah, I didn't pay enough attention to that to answer definitively. So there you go.
Yep. And they did shut it down. We're just still talking about it a year later.
Yeah. Yes, no, why is he upside down? Oh dear. Rodimus has taken a tumble.
Power's gone to his head.
Dance off, bro.
Just take a minute. What a fucking good looking Rodimus that is, right?
It's just classy.
He is classy. I do think that he is actually classier than the
Kalik. Thumbs up, Brad.
I do think he is classier than the MMC one, but he's just got too many squeaky ball joints.
Is that because of the paint that the person used, or
no? This isn't a custom. This is the hot flame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, transistor keys for an oil bath.
I think actually, so that means that actually I've got wait sitting here as well. I've also got Calidus sitting here as well. So like that's the hot flame versus the MMC one. And like I do think the hot flame one looks better, but the Calidus is great, but I feel like they sort of phoned in some of his design. Which is a bit of a shame.
You can't quite get it perfect. Is one option looks kind of iffy, and the other one doesn't have the best build quality. So sort of stuck between the two.
That's right. Just gonna have to wait for that sweet official one.
Yeah, should be coming any day now. Oh wait, no, there already is a Masterpiece Rodimus or a Masterpiece Hot Rod. But he's not very IDW like, obviously. But yeah.
Well, they'll probably do a revisit to him like they've done with Prime and Megatron. Revisit to Hot Rod.
No, I don't think they need to. Oh, well, they already did. Like there was an MP9 and then there was MP28.
You'll
fact,
probably see an MP28 Plus before you see anything else.
Oh, yeah,
they did MP40. Like MP40 was essentially 28 plus.
Was MP40 just another rod?
Yeah.
Hot rod?
Yeah, it was just another hot rod with less accessories, but also like the weirdo season 3 color scheme.
And Headmaster gun.
Yes. Target Master gun, I believe.
Target Master, yeah.
Target Master.
It's like it's like he's the Target Master head.
So have you been drinking again?
Indeed.
Oh, drink.
All right. Every time someone talks about drinking, oh my god! So,
I got a game. Every time we talk about Unicron tonight, let's drink.
I'm gonna have to go get another drink. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, podcast. Right.
Yeah, better hit the live button.
She farted.
She's 14 weeks. She doesn't know any better. Even at 14 years, she won't know any better.
No.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That is the cutest thing that has ever. Wait! Hold on! You can have the whole screen, Brad. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that. What a little cutie! Oh my god, she's so small. Oh, you're tickling her.
Look at the size of his hand compared to her.
I know.
No.
I know. Look at it. Now
I think she's awake now.
She's just woken up and she's just like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, what's that? What's that? Meow.
Look, when you say "What's that?" she's woken up because she thought she might be food.
No. All right, we got business to get to.
No, we don't. We're talking about Transformers.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
But maybe we should do that.
What, transform?
Maybe.
And roll out.
Maybe. Look, I don't want to put any labels on anything, but maybe that's what we should do. Does everyone have the drinks lined up for when we talk about Unicron? Because it's coming up soon.
I do.
I've only got an empty glass. I've already had my drink.
Production. Back to multi-view, please.
Really? I don't know.
Everyone can see me.
Everyone can still see you.
Oh, that's different.
Now it's just diluted a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shall we? I can't actually pick up my Google Home Hub that's sitting on the desk here. It's just key to show like recent highlights of photos. It's just come up with a photo of James Roberts. Oh, that's great. So it's going through the TF Nation photos. Yeah, a couple of others have come up now. All right. Shall we go for 200
Hours?
We shall.
Number one, engage.
We can probably go for 200 hours if we really need to.
Cool.
There's logistical problems with that, but sure.
Yeah.
Need more provisions.
Uber Eats is a thing, so we could do that, but yeah.
Not here.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't count for anything.
Yeah, I know.
All right, make sure that mics and cameras are right. Okay. Are we ready to go?
Oh, Max just killed himself. I know.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
All right. Set. And go.